Hi, and welcome to another Java by Example. Today we are going to look at something a little bit different. We are checking out JavaFX, a framework that I haven't worked with earlier, and it's going to be interesting for me to look into what JavaFX is and how you can use it for GUI development. I have used Swing earlier to create all my Java GUIs, so it's going to be interesting to see if this new JavaFX is better at creating GUI components and creating visual elements for your Java applications. So this is going to be something that I can learn from, and hopefully you too. So starting off, I have actually opened the application I created during a code jam, this scheduled video uploader, which has this really fancy UI here. It's a few different input fields. We have the first input field, which is the file name, I believe, and then we have an input field for the title of the video, description of the video, all the tags of the video, and lastly we have an input field for the time in military time of the hour of this current day or the next day, depending on which time you put in. So if you put in 0500, you are probably meaning 0500 tomorrow, because the 0500 today has already been. So it's the next clock hour that you put in, or minutes, so that you can actually say, I want to upload this video when it's done, generated, and upload it to YouTube at this hour. So then you can start a workload and then upload it when it's done. And this GUI is not that decorative and not that easy to understand. You had to actually write the code in order to see which field is which and how to actually enter data into this. So my goal is to change this up with JavaFX and create an understandable GUI that I can use in this project. And another thing is that we actually don't see the action button. I have to resize the GUI to get the OK button. So that's also a tad bit of a dilemma for this GUI. It's not that good, and Swing GUIs can tend to be quite hard to work with. They can be very weird in their layout of things. So hopefully JavaFX is better with this. So if we look over here, we have this guide that I've looked up from IntelliJ, because I'm using IntelliJ today. So here we have a few different steps that you need to take. Firstly, you had to download the JDK. I have the JDK 8, but 7 is something you can use as well. And I downloaded this JavaFX scene builder. You don't need it if you write your code from scratch or create your elements your own, but I wanted to see what you could do with this scene builder and if it's better to use that than earlier. I think I used NetBeans GUI editor for Swing, and it wasn't consistent, so the results were very unreliable. And then we need to have the JavaFX plugin enabled, and we can check out that if you do Control-Alt-S in Windows, I believe it was. Nope. Well, you need to actually enable the frame. So if you do Control Alt S, you can look at your plugins and check out. Oh, it's hard when you don't see your mouse. Check out here that your JavaFX is enabled. And you also need to look under languages and frameworks for JavaFX and see that your scene builder exe is added if you want to use the scene builder to open your scenes. So I have added my scene builder path here. And I think that was the next thing that you had to do. Yeah, this is step 5. Check that you have the scene builder, and then you can create your JavaFX. Oh, sorry. This point 5 was actually specifying the path of the scene builder, and then we have 6, create the project for your JavaFX. So here you have how to define and create a development project. So let's look at this. Get back here. We have to do a new file project. Here we can choose JavaFX and a JavaFX application. Next, project name. Let's call this YouTube Uploader FX. Finish that, and I terminate my application there. So here we get a few things in our project. We have a controller. This is the controller I look in here. The controller class is the class that has all interactions. So if you press a button or something, it will ask the controller for what action to be taken when you press that button. The main application is to start up your application and show your window. And in this case, the only thing it does is using this fxml loader. And fxml, I guess, is the fx XML file that describes the GUI. And this file is something that you open with your scene builder, I guess. So this is to get a root and then set the title of the window, I guess, your primary stage. Set the scene. In this case, you give it a root, so everything that is in this design you give to the scene, and set the width and height of the scene, and then you show your primary stage. So I guess this is all the code necessary to actually show this. And you have this start function that starts your stage. Interesting. And you have a launch method that you actually run on the application in order to start your main. So I guess that application has a static method for launch, and it will initiate and run this public start method. So we can look into application just for fun and see here. Here we have the launch method, and it actually takes the application class as the first parameter, and then arguments after that, and it will launch the application using the launcher implementation. So I get, okay, so here we have another one that doesn't have the application class as a given, and that's what we are seeing. So here it creates a stack trace for the thread. So this is some build up. I guess it's just initiating the class and then creates a new instance of the class and then run a launch application on that class. So this is the actual function that will actually launch our application. So I'm not sure that it's required that we know everything about how it works under the hood. I just wanted to dive in a bit so I can see how it's structured to get a sense of um, how it works. I hadn't done that, so I think that we will not gain so much knowledge from that anymore. But I can see that you use an implementation to launch the application, and the start method is the first method that is run. I guess it's a part of the life cycle of the application. And then we have this XML, and in this case we have button control, a label control, and a grid pane. And the only thing we are using at the moment is the grid pane. So we don't have any buttons or labels or anything like that. So I guess it's an empty window. So let's try to run this application, see if we get any errors. Nope, we just get a window, hello world. So the first sample application is done. That wasn't that hard, but it's good to have as a starting point so we can understand how it actually works. So let's continue then. Develop a Java application, coding examples. So here we can rename the controller class if you like, and developing a user interface, completing the code for the sample controller class, running the application, styling the UI with CSS. So let's see here. Why do we want to rename our controller, I wonder? In the editor, place on the class, rename refactor, change the name of the controller. Sample controller. If you like. Well, I'm not sure that I require to change the name of it. Developing the user interface. To show you how to use how IntelliJ can help you to write your code, let's implement a kind of Hello World JavaFX application. We'll define a button and then click display the hello world text. Okay. So let's go back and see if we can implement these here. And here we should have a button. Let's see here. Text. Press V. Could that work? So there we have the actual button. So that was easy. And let's create a label. Label ID, FX ID, and it should be called my label, just for funsies. And there we have the label with no text, and they actually put a row index on it. Wonder what that does. Grid pane row index 1. So what's that about? So if you look here, I'm not sure if the images get any larger if I... No, they don't. So this page is not that good to present the actual code from, but yeah, they actually have this row index there, and they don't describe why you should want to use it. And on the button we can set an on action, and they use, what's that character? Do they use an actual naming convention for that? Hash mark? Say hello world. Okay. Cannot resolve the symbol. Can we use this to generate it? Oh, generate copyright. That we don't want. Okay. And complete the code for the sample controller class. Yes. Actually said that I could generate something here. Nope. It seems like there is something should be able to do here. Okay. So in this example, they actually have an error on this line. So I should be able to get help from that error. But it doesn't seem like it actually will help me with that. Could I generate something from this? Nope. But let's continue with the helper here. It actually says that in the controller I can put in a public label with my label. So I have the same name of my label in here. And I guess it should be a scene control label. And then to generate this function for the button, they say it should be a public, say hello world. And then it will get an action event, not an AVT action event. It's actually a JavaFX event, and that we will call an action event as well. So that's the actual clicking of the button, and then we take our label and we set text to hello world. This should be everything. Press it. Hello world! So we created our first action following this tutorial. And yeah, it seems like we are pretty much done with the part of the tutorial that I think I need in order to actually try out the builder instead. So let's look at that, see if I can open it, open in Scene Builder. See here we have the Scene Builder, and here we have the elements that I have added so far in this scene. These are not that interesting, so let's remove these and start anew. So what kind of elements do we have here? We have containers. We have grid panes, we have horizontal boxes, we have split panes, panes, we have tabs, we have toolboxes, miscellaneous things, shapes, and so on. Well, let's start with the V-box. and then we put in an horizontal box in that V box, and then we put in one label, and find one. Controls perhaps? Yeah, here we have those. Put in a label, should be in that one, and we should have input box. Is that a text area? Perhaps? Text field. That sounds reasonable. So there we have that. And so this is not big enough. Let's make it a bit bigger. And can we let's start by editing this label, and we say file name. We need some padding on this. We have the PHP padding, label padding. Okay, it's not editable for some reason. Alignment, top left, center left, center right. Doesn't really give us much. Center right. Nope. Doesn't really help us with the alignment. This virtual box, well, it's all the way over, so that shouldn't be an issue. Why can't I just get this? Now we have top center, top left, that's good. Content displays, center. Well, this was a bit irritating. The sense of actually styling these. Well, let's copy and paste a few vertical boxes. Paste one more. Here we remove this, put the text area instead. So this, and we copy, paste, and then we need one more of this. Copy, paste. See here, file name. The next one should be title. Did I remove the text field? That was not my intention. Oh, label. Did I remove the label? There we go. Title, text field can be empty. Here we have description. And description, tags, and lastly, time. So, why is this text area here so freakishly huge? Well, let's start by saving this for funsies and check. Yeah, it's what I thought. So this is the hard part with creating GUIs. In Java you get very weird results when you actually think that you do something very simple. Maybe I used the wrong container. Could we find a better container for this? Not sure if this grid box perhaps could be used for what we want instead, because it actually says that we have 1x2. Could I change that so I will have a bit more spaces in there, and then use that position, transition. Not really seeing it. Preferred size, mean height, mean width, height.